Let's see if it's connecting. It's not connecting yet. Okay, it is. Hello, everyone. It's today is Monday, the mid of the month. Hello, Michael. How are you doing? It's been a long time.
I'm great, Julie. Good to see you.
Good to
Hello,
see.
everyone.
Good to see you too. Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's my intro. Hey, just happy to see you.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks long, I think. I know it's been a long time. Anyway, hello everyone. Today is Monday. Here it is, Michael and I coming together to have to talk about on passive, to talk about what we have in mind. And today, our topic is about the mindset of Mr. Ash Mufareh. And as everyone probably already understand, what is mindset? I wrote it down. It's a collections and beliefs that someone have, or some assumptions about what they have about themselves, around their life, about their world. Um, with someone with a strong mindset can actually help them to manage and organize um, their expectations and the informations around them. And I believe that mindset can actually shape um, the sense of the world around ourselves, and it also a way to help us influence the way we think, the way how we do things, the decisions that we make. And so today, when we're getting together talking about the mindset of Mr. Ash Mufareh, I believe, Michael, that Mr. Ash Mufareh has a very distinctive mindset that literally shaping on passive vision and the operations of the entire on passive company as well. Um, do you agree with me?
No,
Okay,
no,
let's talk about it.
of course, I agree with you. you know, Absolutely, Julie. I mean, it's all about mindset. It's all about the way we think. The way we think shapes who we are. And so if we all understand the business of on passive, I think from that we should be able to glean or understand, the way the CEO of the company thinks, right? So it's again, it's all about being able to look and see what has happened, what is happening, what is to come, the direction that we're going in, to get a clear sense of his vision, which basically comes from the way he thinks.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned about the vision. What we see is that his vision is really focusing on revolutionize the digital marketing, how to turn what he's creating and what's around the world to be automated. In that space, or whatever it is, in that space, in terms of the technology wise, and he wants that to be a global platform there, where there's no boundaries, in terms of business, small to medium, in terms of individuals. There's no skills that needed to be required, or the knowledge of technology to do it. And he makes it so simple and so easy access.
Yeah, definitely, Julie. I mean, so many people, millions of people have been trying for so long, right? Trying to make it, trying to, join a business, become successful, all of that, trying to put food on their table, just trying to live a good quality of life. And it's difficult. And that's because of lack of skills, right? Doesn't mean that they don't have any skills, but lack of skills in the area of building a business, right? So we know people come from all different backgrounds. You can have somebody who's an engineer, you can have somebody who's a doctor, somebody who's a lawyer, etc., school teacher, nurse, right? But they may not have any skill when it comes to building a business, right? We've seen individuals who may have a lot of money, maybe from an inheritance or whatever, and they maybe buy a business, maybe a franchise, right? But then, because they don't have the skill, they don't have the know-how to run that business, they employ others, right? They go out and they get people who are qualified, who have the knowledge, and they can now basically run the business, even though that individual may be the owner, right? So because of that, in order for us to build this business and for it to make sense for a lot of people globally, it has to be simple. It has to be something that does not require me to have the know-how, to be have the technical knowledge, to understand how to build a website, understand how to generate traffic, how to put it all together, how to automate the process, all these things that we don't have to come up with, and that's what makes OnPassive different, right? If it was just like every other business out there, then we would have to fend for ourselves. And the reality is, the majority of us would just simply fail, right? But here we have a business because of the way that our CEO thinks, right? We have a business whereby people can simply just get in, right, and use the full automation that's available to them to become successful. And that's a game changer, Julie. There's definitely a difference when we have a business such as that.
Yes, absolutely. And when you start it with a very clear vision and your mind is set to that vision, you always go walking toward that path. I love the fact that he is running this company, and Mr. Ashmufara himself is has full of ethical and transparent, and really his integrity to his commitment to what he does. He advocates about ethical practices in businesses and in our daily life as well. His transparency and on passive is so clear that even though when he is facing some challenges and an obstacle every day in his daily life, but his integrity is always there. He always show up, and always keeping that trust that he's building with the people around him, and he focuses on just building that trust to actually really building that strong trust between him and the people around him and the founders, the users ourselves. He always come to show up in a meeting or anywhere, even when it comes to relaxing time. He always focusing on that ethical and that transparency, and that's one of the things that I believe it is so important, that we can take what we see in Mr. Ashmofara and use it for our life as well. Stay ethical and stay transparent.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's how you can test a person's integrity, Julie. When challenges come, how do they react? What do they do? Do they run and hide? You know what I mean? Or do they come forth and says, "Okay, this is what's happening. This is how things are going to be resolved, etc. We're working on this, and so on," making themselves available in spite of issues, in spite of challenges. Again, that's so you see that a person has integrity, right? That they want to be there. They want to, be able to come out and let people know that, hey, I'm still here. We're still fighting. We're still working hard. We still believe in the motto of do it or die. That is somebody who actually cares, Julie, right? As we talk about mindset, have to have compassion for other people, to have empathy for other people, to want to see other people do well, not just you, not just your family, but to take on the world, so to speak. Right? Again, does a person have to do this? No, they don't. Right? We know that there are people out there that are billionaires, and what are they really doing to help out others? Right? Sure, they donate 1%, 2%, 3% here and there, but they still maintain the bulk, right? Of what they have, right? Are they really going above and beyond to help out their fellow human being, right? So we understand all of that. But here with an OnPassive, we see that a company is willing to go above and beyond. A company that says, you know what, we're gonna push all the way through. Whatever comes in our way, we're just gonna go right through it or go over it. But at the end of the day, we're gonna continue forward and make this happen for so many people around the world because there is that need. Right? It's not that there isn't any need, Julie. It's not like everybody's sitting there and everyone is, having a grand time and they're financially free and have time freedom and all of this fancy stuff. No, right? Right now, the world is in chaos. You know what I mean? You look right even in America and, for all the politics stuff and and the election and all of that that's going on. Like, it's just crazy, right? And people seem to think that, well, if this person go in power, then hey, we're gonna have our country's gonna be great. If this other person, you know, people haven't learned from that, Julie. You know what I mean? They've not learned. It doesn't matter whether it's A or B. It's still the same option, right? But here, we have something that is different. We can look and see what other companies have done. We can see what other companies are doing, and yet we see that no, this is different. You actually have a CEO. You actually have a company that wants to make a difference in people's lives in a positive way. OnPassive is not here to harm anyone, right? And not one person. I can't find anyone that can say, "Oh, I was harmed by OnPassive." Impossible, Julie. Okay. So the bottom line is that we have a CEO that has that integrity, right? That is full of transparency, when it comes to all that is going on with the company, right? And that is needed. That is needed, especially, in the world that we're living today. It is needed, Julie. It's not something that you see often, right? And so when we do find that, it's something to treasure, something to be grateful for, that we are all part of this, and we will benefit from the results in the end. So here we go.
Absolutely. And you know what? I love the fact that not only that he's focused on only what he does, Mr. Ashmufara, and the team and the company itself, but he owns also, I guess, in a way where he's empowering other people around him and giving them support. I mean, he empower each and every one of us by showing up as a CEO, and we understand how busy he is. He shows up on all the occasions that he could, to empowering us, to lift us up. And he, not only that, he's kind of empower us in a way of the things that he does, the work that he say, the work that he does, and the words that he said. He encourages everyone to do good things, every single day. He encourages everyone to be independent in our own good, in our own self every single day. He values every single one of us. And that makes it so beautiful to create that, I guess, the harmonious community that we currently have. And I don't see that we can find that in anywhere, you
Well,
know.
I think a lot of us, Julie, have taken on his mindset. I think a lot of us have grown over the years, just being involved in On Passive in a positive way, right? That's something that we've seen for ourselves, right? We've witnessed it, we've experienced it, right? We see it in others, people stepping up and doing, great things, right? Stepping out of their comfort zone and so on, being more confident, in their daily lives, right? So we can clearly say that people's lives have been impacted in a positive way since they've been involved in On Passive, based upon how the way our CEO thinks. Again, like you said, caring for other people, being able to, just have that persistent attitude, right? And being positive, finding, no matter how bad a person is, being able to find at least one good thing about that individual. You know what I mean? Helping building up character, Julie. Right? There's so much that many within the Unpassive community, have gained from listening to our CEO. And just watching him, watching what he does and how he goes about doing things, right? And I think people have adapted that into their daily lives as to how they go about and interact with their families, interact with friends, interact with their work colleagues, and so on. Again, making it a way of life, of. Can you imagine a way of life, Julie, where every day you're positive? Every day, no matter what's going on in your life, you find something positive about that day, right? Can you imagine living your life like that? It makes a difference, right? It makes a difference in your mindset. It makes a difference from a spiritual standpoint, from a social standpoint, emotional standpoint. All aspects of your life, Julie, is impacted by that. Imagine if you're around positive people all the time, right?
Yeah.
How can you not have positivity going forward if everyone around you is positive, right? It makes a difference. And just think, if your workplace, you walk into that office and everyone around you is always positive, right? As opposed to walking to a work environment where everyone around you is always negative, 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 right? It's going to have an impact on you one way or the other. So I think I'd rather be in an environment where it's all positivity, you understand, than the opposite, right? And so, a lot of us, as I said, we've really gained a lot just from being around him, for understanding the way he thinks, understand his mindset, and then take that now and apply it into our lives. It makes a huge difference, Julie. No doubt about that.
Yes, Michael. Michael, I love the fact, and I'm actually very proud every time when I hear him say this. My name is Ash Mufareh, right? And I was born to make good changes in humanity at any cost, at any time. I mean, I have goosebumps just hearing myself repeating what he say because of his mindset. He is setting to do that, and no matter what it costs, no matter how long it takes, but I'm here. I was born to change. I was born to do good for humanity. That is so strong, Michael. And by doing that, by showing up, by doing the things that he does, and every time he show up, he almost like he knows everybody. He has this incredible memory where he knows everybody's name. He knows their, like, literally their characters, the intention. I mean, it's amazing. And when he focuses on the intention and the characters and the direction, and he just keep moving forward despite all the obstacle around, um for me, observing that, that's an individual I want to follow. That's an individual, like you said, gathering the people that speaks positives, the people that full of positivity around them. That is someone I wanted to attract to every single day, because it helps, and it comes from how much he cares.
Well, we know most people in life, Julie, are followers, right? Social media, right? You have so many people following others, and it may not be the best thing, right? People are following people for all sorts of weird reasons, let's say, right? um, and what are they really gaining from that? You know what I mean? They're following all these social influencers and all this fancy stuff. And how are you actually benefiting from you following that individual, right? So if I'm not going to benefit in a positive way from following you, like, why would I do it, right? To me personally, it just doesn't make any sense, right? So when you see someone doing good, Julie, when you see someone that is out there that wants to make a positive difference, that makes a declaration such as that I was born, you know what I mean, for this, right? That's something that resonates with you, right? And so you can't help but, you know what? Yeah, I want to take on that mantle. I want to be able to do that one good thing a day, motto. Like, be able to carry that on. Again, think how that would impact the world, right? Not just your immediate circle, but just the globe, right? If every single person decided to just do one good thing every single day. It doesn't have to be something big, massive. It could be just a small little thing. It just doesn't matter. Just do one good thing. Just think about that, Julie, right? So I'm saying, you have a lot of positive experience by being around people, by hearing people share those types of sentiments, and to help you understand how you can be the best version of yourself. Uh, to me, that's powerful, right? That's incredible, because we live in a world that's filled with negativity. Yeah, just turn on your TV. You know what I mean? And that's all you're gonna get, right? Every single news channel is gonna have something negative, negative, and we know that there's good being done in this world, right? Well, we know this, right? Some of us have benefited from others being good to us, right? People who you probably don't know from Adam, as they say, right? But yet somehow, some way, they've had a positive impact in your life, right? So we know that there's good being done, but yet it's not broadcast, though, Julie. You know what I mean? That doesn't go viral, right? It's always the bad things that go viral. You know what I mean? So when we see the good, yes, we certainly want to, gravitate towards it. We want to hold on to that, and we want to now internalize that so that we now become part of that movement, right? Whereby we're trying to help others around the world, right? It doesn't always have to be money. It doesn't always, well, give me money, or I have to give money, or it doesn't always have to be that, right? Sometimes it's just that, that act of kindness. You know what I mean? It's just telling that person I love you. It's telling that person good morning. You know what I mean? It's that telling that person, have a great day. Just little things, opening the door for someone. You know what I mean? Just little things that we can do, Julie, to impact someone's lives, because you just never know, the kind of day that person was having. You know what I mean? It could have been, a tornado type of a day, and just that one little act of kindness that you did for that person can just totally change, their outlook for the rest of the day, and maybe even for the weeks to come, right? So absolutely, it's the mindset is so important, and when we see the type of mindset that our CEO has, it just makes sense that you want to gravitate towards that.
Absolutely. And I've heard someone say this. You really don't understand what an individual go through if you're going to try to walk their shoes a moment of it. So if we don't walk anyone's shoes, we should be kind toward them no matter what happened. And so I've experienced a lot of that in on passive, and it's a best place to be, right, Michael? Let's go into a little bit more in terms of the technology and the business side of it. The way how I look at Mr. Ashmufara, the team, and on passive is that on passive is focusing on values creation based on the product, based on the services that on passive does, focusing on in a way where on passive is creating substantial values for the customers by going through, the technology. He is creating such a comprehensive and integrated solutions for everyone, like we said earlier. And not only that, it's really truly focused on what the customer needs and wants.
Well,
It's very important.
yeah, well, yesterday, Julie, we had a webinar, and I spoke about on passive, the game changer, right? And so, we talked about a lot of different things, but the one sticking point was the idea that every single person on this planet, every single person, right, on this planet, whether directly or indirectly, will be impacted in a positive way because of on passive,
Yeah.
hands down, right? Because the one thing, Julie, the one thing that every single business needs is traffic. The one thing that every single one of them, right? This
Yeah.
business may need something else because they're in the tech industry. This one may need something else, because they're in the healthcare industry, and so on and so forth. But the one thing that all of them need, right, is traffic. All of them need visitors. All of them need marketing, Julie. That's why companies that are 50-year-old, right, they're still advertising to this day, right?
Paying
Um,
millions of dollars to advertise.
millions of dollars for 30-second
Yeah.
commercial, Julie, right? It's the one thing that we know that people need, right? And
Yeah.
so when we look at that and we say that, okay, if we understand OnPassive's model, and we understand the technology that's involved to have artificial intelligent um, uh, designed advertising, like, you understand that
Mhm.
it's basically the driving force, right, behind the new way of advertising today, right? Because things have changed, we all know this, right? But the bottom line is that when you continue to push forward, Julie, and to forge new direction, come up with new ideas, that's going to springboard you, ahead of the crowd. That's something to behold, and OnPassive has that, right? OnPassive has that, Julie, where it doesn't matter what business you have, you're going to be impacted. You're going to benefit. There is at least one thing here that you will need. And first of all, I don't have a business. But guess what, though? You don't have a business, but you need money, you need income, right? We all do,
Mhm.
right? You make $100,000 a year, chances are that's not enough, right? That's just how things work, depending on where you live and all these other factors. But the bottom line is that even a child, okay, I want my child to go to university. Well, I need money for that, right? Retirement. Okay, I'm old. Okay, but there's retirement, right? We know most people that are retired right now are looking for extra income. Why? Because what they have isn't enough. That company pension isn't enough. That government pension isn't enough. They may not even have a pension. Again, depending on where they live in the world, right? The bottom line is that in OnPassive, there is something, at least one thing, for every single person on this planet based upon the design of the business, right? So that in itself is incredible, Julie. And so we have a lot to look forward to in this business. Technology, right? You're talking about leading technology, not old, not dated technology, but new technology, right? We know there's an artificial intelligence race that's on right now. We know that there's people, using AI for good and people using AI for bad and so on. OnPassive is all about good, right? So we know that everything when it comes to technology within our company, right, it's all about doing good for the world. How can we use technology to better people's lives? How can we use technology to enhance people's lives? You understand? So it's all about that. So in OnPassive, there is something for every single person around the world, and not every company can say that.
Absolutely, Michael. And you're talking about technology, you're talking about sustainable technology. Every single day, the decisions that he makes is focusing on the long term success, long term sustainabilities, focusing on how he could create a business model that is resilient, that is adaptable to everyone around the world. The way how he innovates the technologies in non-passive is just amazing because everything that he does is really staying ahead of the curve, ahead of the market, the current market. And like you said, it's not, it's always updated instead of outdated. So what he does is amazing, and I love the fact that how he is not looking at today, the next year, the next 5 years, but he's looking at the long-term sustainability of what he is creating in terms of the technology itself, in terms of the business model itself, and he stick with his vision. It's amazing, Michael. And we can sit here and talk about this all this time, but what I'm seeing from here is he has such a huge passion in technology and marketing. He uses his skills, his ability, his talent to invent, and like he said all the time, stacking the cool. And exactly what you say. When you have those, you have all the cools, you have all the values, you got the traffic, and traffic is almost as it's inevitable. That's a word I'm having a trouble to say. Inevitable.
Inevitable.
There you go. Thank you. But yeah, it is traffic is already there for us.
Yeah.
And so,
you know, your favorite word, Julie, right? Interconnected, right? To be able to put a business together where everything connects together, right? They all flow together, they all go together. To be able to have that, right? To be able to have people to just go to one place and everything is there for you, single sign on, one stop shop, right? To have all of that in your business, Julie, so that again, you're saving people's time, you're saving people money, right? Those are things that most companies are not looking to do, right? They don't care about your time, right? They don't care. Well, they do care about your money because they're trying to pull it out of your pocket, right? But again, they're not looking to say, well, okay, you know what, if we can make this product, how can we get it to the end user, at the cheapest possible cost without sacrificing the value, right? They're not thinking that. They're thinking, well, let's just get the product out to you and put, hey, if you're willing to pay $10,000 a month for that product, we're going to charge you $10,000 a month. They're not saying, well, you know what, we can actually charge 3,000 a month, right? But we know you can afford 10,000, but no, we 3,000 is okay. No, It's always the other way around. And again, that's when you have companies that are focused on the wrong things, right? Here, we want to be here 20 years from now, Julie, 30 years from now, 40 years from now. We want to be here long term, right? And so when you have that mindset where you're thinking long term, you're not thinking about, yes, we understand that people have a short term need, right? People need stuff right now. But you know what, though? 5 years ago, people had a short term need. 3 years ago, they had a short term. 10 years ago, they had a short term. And here they are still going today, right? So, people will get over whatever that short term need may be, right? But the bottom line is you want to have something that is lasting, right? Who wants to continue to build and then start again, build and start again and build? No one wants to do that, right? People are looking for something that is lasting, right? No one gets up and say, well, you know what? Let me go into a marriage, but you know what? I'm only here for a year though, and then come next year, I need a new relationship, and then and you keep doing that year after year after year. People, I believe they actually go into something and they're thinking long term. It may not work out, but the intent, right, was long term. And so in our business, we're thinking long term. That's the intent. We want to be here forever, right? As long as there's businesses in this world, right? We want to be one of those businesses, right? So Unpassive is always thinking in the right direction, Julie. And so, yes, you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to adapt to changes because changes will come, right? You have to be scalable, okay? So all these things are infused within Unpassive, right? And again, it all starts with the mindset of our CEO.
Absolutely. So, Michael, what we've talked about in the last, I guess, 30 minutes really encompasses what On Passive is all about, what our mindset, Mr. Mufareh's mindset is all about, what our mindset is for all of us who are believing and trusting and loving what we've been experienced. And that's why we are here. And I believe these informations that we bring it out, all the values that we bringing out here, will help people's mindset of where they're heading. Because what we are heading right now would be something that I have never seen, and I don't believe anyone's have ever seen before. And he has always ensuring us that you will cry. You're gonna need tissues. You're gonna need to have to double pants, triple pants yourself when it's all come out. What we are talking about is what we have experienced, what we've seen, but what coming ahead of us. It's incredible, and I don't think I'd even have a word to describe it. So, are we ready?
Well, our future is bright, is the bottom line, right? We
Yeah.
have a very bright future here in OnPassive, right? So I think if people understand that, if people hold on to that, then they're calm, they're relaxed, they're excited, Julie. They can't wait in anticipation for what is to come, right? But the bottom line is we know that we're going to be happy with whatever comes our way. We're going to be happy with it, and that's good enough for me, right? As long as I know I'm going to be happy. Now, if whatever's come my way, I'm going to be sad, Julie. Right? That's a different ball game, right? So if I know that I'm going to be happy with what's coming my way, I'm already happy now. You know what I mean? In anticipation of that happiness that will come in the future. So we're in a great place. Just keep loving on passive because it gives us hope, right? There's no doubt about that. In a world that doesn't have much hope, right? This is one company that actually gives us hope. Where business is concerned and how we can help, our neighbor, right? That's what this business will allow us to do: help ourselves, help our family, help our neighbors, our community, and help the globe at large. So I'm looking forward to it, Julie. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so, just wrap this up. Mindset is something that it can shape where our life will be. It's dependent on where our mindset is, right? It can help us to actually make sense of things that is happening in on passive, things that is happening in the world, and things that are happening in our own lives. So the way we think is where we are. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. That was a wrap. We hope everyone have a blessed day and blessed week and enjoy the rest of July. You as well, Michael.
Absolutely.